So you're wanting to hear about how my friend was broken entering and got frisky with one of our gay friends. Well, you've come to the right place then, because that's exactly what happens, and I'm not trying to like clickbait you or nothing, because that's exactly what happens to this story. So, hello everyone, and welcome to another video. And in this one, I decided to do something a little different. Instead of just talking about mainly drawing, I want to talk about a little funny thing that happened to me a few nights ago. And I thought it'd be fun to share this dumb story and what exactly happened and what led up to that. Because honestly, not much really happens in my life. It's pretty mundane, dull, but stuff like this is usually what I love happening. Well, besides the possibility of a crime being committed, you know, the whole spiel. But anyways, without further ado, let's get into that. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty, darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Wait a minute, this is a little too far back. Let's start from the beginning of that day. Now, a quick little background on how Ty and his living conditions are. Ty is a very strong redneck person, you know. His dad did manual labor and all the such, and he followed right behind him doing hard manual labor. And, his living conditions is not exactly the greatest. I don't want to go into too much depth about it, but his landlord is kind of flaky at times and is a little interesting. Like his AC broke sometime not too long ago, and he was getting the money together to buy a new one and replace it himself. And so when he went to go talk to his landlord, he was like, "Hey, I got the money. Can I fix my AC? Because it's blistering hot out." And she basically said, "No, you can't do this. Oh, this, and that." Was being super defensive, and it's really, really weird. Like, why are you so like defensive about the AC unit? Like, it's almost like you're hiding something in the AC unit. Hmm. Now, Ty was transitioning from working at a mechanic shop to landscaping, and so he was a bit short on money. And it was around rent time, so he hits up his landlord and is like, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna be a bit short on money this month. Is that completely fine?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it. We'll figure something out." And so that should be where the story ends, basically. Everyone's happy. But unfortunately, this isn't where the story ends, because there's a lot more of this video, as you can see. So he comes back from a long day of work, and he just wants to crash in his bed and eat something. And when he gets home, he finds that his door has been padlocked. He literally has been locked out of his own place, and that's the final straw, because the landlord had already been super finicky, skittish, and has just like not allowed him to have any freedom. So he goes to let's call him N. And now N is actually the gay friend he later on gets frisky with, but that's for later in the video. You'll get all those juicy details if you continue watching. But I digress. He gets to N's place and just blows up. He's ranting to him, talking about all the problems the landlord has been giving him, like how she's been always like on his neck about this stuff and like that stuff, and like he's there for a good while. And that's when he gets the bright idea. He's going to move out that day. He was already looking for somewhere else to move to already, but I guess you could say this basically gave him the final push he needed to finally put that plan into action. So he calls me at around like 8 o'clock, and I was watching one of my buddies playing Dispatch. Fun game, by the way. But he calls me, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? What do you need?" And he just immediately hits me with, "Hey, do you want to help me move?" "Oh, you found somewhere else to live? That's cool." No, I got kicked out." "Excuse me?" So I try to talk to him over the phone about it, and I can tell he's getting a bit mad even just talking about it. And so I'm like, "All right, let's just come by, pick me up, and let's figure this out in the truck." So on our way there, he gives me all the details of like what happened and just how the landlord has not been the greatest. And
he's thinking of basically breaking and entering, and I'm over here like, okay, let's be rash now. Let's be more reasonable. There's no need to go that far. But unfortunately, he has a bit of a single track mind, and once he has his sights set on something, he is going to get it done, which is not great in this situation. So I'm trying to like talk him out of it, being like, hey, let's maybe talk this out with her. This could just be one big huge misunderstanding. He's still upset about it, so I decide let's just ride this out in silence. We drive there in silence, and as we get there, I'm like, all right, one last try. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Because, like, listen, the cops could get called, things could get a little tense. I really don't want you like having like some sort of criminal background or anything like that. And so he does, I could see him, he is thinking about it, but he's like, all right, just wait here in the truck. He goes inside. He is allowed inside to use the bathroom because his little house doesn't have one. So he's allowed inside the landlord's house to use it. So he goes in, tries to see if he can find a key before he decides to break the lock. And while he's in there, I guess thankfully my prayers were answered because he comes out and is like, all right, listen, I thought about it while I was in there. I'm gonna do your plan and just wait here until she comes by. And so we chill there for a little bit, just talking about like how life's been going so far and like how none of us really hang out anymore. The whole thing. The landlord finally gets there and they talk, and thankfully things seem to get worked out because after they like talk for like 10 minutes or something, he comes back out looking way happier than before. And now, as they were talking, he had previously called another friend, let's call him Jay, to help move some stuff as well. But there was a change of plans, thankfully, so now he's just there to hang out. And so we're now all sitting there like, what's the plan? What are we gonna do? And that's when Ty is like, oh, you never been to N's new place. Let's go bother N. And so we head over there, try and call him. His phone's dead. And then as we get there, his roommate lets us in, and we find out that he fell asleep. And so Ty, being the very respectful friend he is, when he gets to the door, yeah, he was knocking for like a solid minute and a half. I'm not even kidding. And finally opens the door to his bedroom. It's just like, what are you guys doing here? Now, mind you, he does sleep shirtless, so imagine three guys pulling up, you're shirtless, and they're all just banging on your door. We barge in, and he goes back and lays on his bed, and we just talk with him. And then Ty decides to be a little funny, gets in bed with him as well. And so I also thought I'd be funny and also get in bed with them. Jay thankfully decided not to be weird and decided to just sit on the edge of the bed. Like, what the frick, bro? You don't want to cuddle with the homies? Like, come on. Now, all three of us are cuddling besides Jay, and I glance over, and I think it's now mainly between N and Ty because Ty's got his arms wrapped around N, and N is laying his head on Ty's chest, and it's starting to cross the line between joking and like, okay, what are you guys doing? Because now they are like kind of fondling each other now, and I'm like, I'm not sure how cutthroat I feel about this. So I decided to sit up with Jay, and we decided to just ignore those two lovebirds in the corner. And every now and then we'd glance over, and those two are like in a deep cuddle. And I wish I took a picture of it because it was such a interesting thing to see. So they fell asleep. Funnily enough, they actually fell asleep, and it just left me and Jay in this dark room with two dudes cuddling right behind us. And so 30 minutes go by, and finally Ty wakes up because Jay had to leave because it was getting late. And just to leave this off on not such a on such a sexual high, Ty and I did leave eventually because we were both hungry, and we went to go get some pizza, drove up onto a big hill, and just looked at the city lights. Let's not leave this video off on such a interesting note. But, if you guys watched the video all the way to now, thank you, because I'm still trying to make YouTube work out for me, and I'm really enjoying doing this type of stuff. If you like the storytime videos, maybe I'll do a few more, because I do have a few funny moments in my life from how mundane it is. There's a lot of interesting things that actually have happened throughout my life. So I'd really like to share that guy with get oh my gosh, I'd really like to share that with you guys. So, if you want to see more of that, maybe subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps support the channel. And like if you have any other funny stories that you guys have had in like your life, maybe drop them down in the comments. But anyways, have a good night or rest of your day, whatever. Just have a good rest of your day. Bye bye.